Welcome to the 2018 Fort Hays State Football Preview Show. I'm your host, Haley White, and joining me shortly will be FHSU head coach Chris Brown and a few of his players. The Tigers are coming off their most successful season in school history, dating back to more than 100 years. Now, there's a buzz around the football team that hasn't been seen in quite some time. Fort Hays qualified for the NCAA Division II playoffs for the first time since 1995, and despite a loss to Ferris State that ended the season 11-1 overall, the Tigers are looking to better that mark entering 2018. Last year was a historic season for FHSU. The Tigers rolled out to a perfect 11-0 record to start the season, the best in school history. More importantly, the Tigers won their first conference title on the gridiron in the always strong MIAA. That meant the Tigers had to beat teams such as National Power Northwest Missouri on its home field, Pittsburgh State, and Central Missouri to accomplish the conference crown. Fort Hays was ranked as high as number 4 in the nation entering postseason play and was ranked number 8 in the final D2 poll, but that was last year. Now the Tigers are looking to show last year's performance was no fluke. Despite the loss of some key players, including a third-round pick in the NFL draft, the Tigers are loaded at some key positions for 2018. And the hype surrounding the team is carrying over from last year into this season. Joining us to break down the upcoming 2018 season is FHSU head coach Chris Brown. Welcome to the show, Coach Brown.
Thank you.
First off, I want to congratulate you on such a great season last year. I'm sure the excitement between you and the players and the rest of the coaching staff is at an all-time high right now.
It is. We had a really good season last year. I'm very proud of our players and how they progressed through the season, and just the years building up to this to this moment as well. But last year was a monumental season. Our players did the things they needed to do in the summer and through the season to stay healthy and to win football games. We've got a great group of kids that work hard, and they're committed to what we're doing and believe in one another. They love one another, and they're going to compete each day to win games. And I don't think this is the end of Tiger football. I think this is just the beginning, and with these group of kids, who knows where we can go. Coach,
you're beginning your 8th season as head coach here. Has it been a natural progression along the lines of success each year for you and your coaching staff?
Yeah, it's been a process. Things have changed a lot, over the years. I've changed a few coaches here and there as well. Players have changed. And it's just getting the right kids that fit who we are as a coaching staff, that fit Fort Hays State University, that fit Hays, Kansas, and kids that we feel have great character, kids that are hardworking, committed to the process, and kids that want to win. We're also looking for kids that do well in the classroom. The kids that academics is important to them. That they're smart and they're going to be smart on the field as well. But it has been a process, and each group's done its part. And last year's group did had a very big impact on the the progress of this program. But I think this year's class coming up, or this season, is really going to tell of what we've done so far.
When did you know last season that you had a special team?
I think just as the years have gone on, you just kind of see it, progress, as you go through each season, and then seeing the kids and then how they develop, and their work ethic and the things that they do, on and off the field. I mean, it's always a process, but I felt last year's crew was just that senior leadership. I knew from the get-go it was a very good class and was really bought into what we were doing. There was a lot of kids that were here for 4 or 5 years, and kids that believed in the process and really cared about one another and wanted to win football games and wanted to be the team that won a conference title, and that group did it. So I kind of knew about a year in advance that team could be pretty good, and they panned out and did everything we asked and got the job done.
Yes, they definitely did. Have you ever been a part of a season like last season before?
Coaching wise, no. I have not. I won a conference championship when I was at Washburn University. In high school, we won some some WAC championships as well. But the only really having a season like that was when I played in college, and that's a long time ago. And I'll let you know how old my age is, but that's a while back. My freshman year in college, we went 15-1, and then my senior year we went 14-1-1. So those are about the only 2 seasons that I've ever been a part of like that. But it was fun, it was enjoyable, and I just can't wait for the years to come.
How exciting was it to see the community rally around your group of guys? I mean, they treated Lewis Field like it was college game day with all the pre-gaming and the tailgating. How did that feel as a coach?
It was awesome. Our offices are right up there on the east side, and I don't think many people know where we're at over there, but we're on that east side where the the doors open up and where the ticket booths are at, and that's the first time since I've been here that I've seen people all the way out to the street in line to get tickets, and seeing them have fun at the tailgate, and then they come in for the game as well, and the way they were cheering and supporting our young guys was tremendous. Without that excitement and enthusiasm from our crowd, it's hard as a player to play. We need that. That just gives us extra energy, extra motivation, and we play better in front of our home crowd.
Perhaps not everyone would have chose you guys to win the MIAA title last year. How big was accomplishing that, not only for the team, but for the eyes of others?
It was huge, because I think we were preseason ranked number 5 or 6 last year. I mean, nobody had a clue that, we could do that. In the back of my mind, it was just a ranking. I knew what these young men could do, and that was huge for our program. To win the conference. That's something that had been done since 1995 when they were in the RMAC, and it's the first time in school history to have or not in school history, but in 100 years to go undefeated regular season, and it's just exciting for your program. You're going in the right direction, and it's nothing that I've really done. It's I give all the credit to our coaches and to the players, because they do put a lot of time and effort in, and they really do make a commitment, to win and to be successful and to be perfect. And without those guys, none of this would have happened.
And speaking on the program, Fort Hays was thrust into national headlines last season for what you guys accomplished. How fulfilling is that as a coach? It's
good to get that recognition, and it really helps with recruiting as well, but it also brings more kids to the school. A lot of kids want to go to a university that has a good football program, and when you're winning, there's something for you to do on Saturday, it just gives you something to do and something to cheer for, and it's the whole college experience is really what it is, having those students come here to Fort Hays to support us and get their education as well, and support the other sports too, but it's huge for us, especially on the recruiting side of it. It helps us get more players here, and helps us continue hopefully this long tradition of winning that we're about to set.
With such a successful 2017 season, do you think that puts more of a target on your back for opposing teams?
Yeah, for sure. I know right now the MIAA, they're looking at last year, and they're, like you said earlier, was it a fluke or was it not a fluke? They're going to be gunning for us, because we won the conference last year, and they don't want us to win it again. But I think these guys, are smart enough and they work hard enough, to win the conference again. I really, really do. I mean, they're humble enough. They're not arrogant guys. They just come to work every single day and get a job done. And when you get guys like that, you're going to be prepared for it. These guys are ready for it. They know what's going to come. They know they're going to get everybody's best each week, and they're going to prepare. Like every game is probably a national championship game, and that they have to win each game. And really, in this conference, you have to win each game to win the conference and get into the playoffs.
What will it take to replicate last year's success, but as well as try to improve on the 2018 season?
Just getting some. We've lost some really good players, and it's guys filling in those footsteps and stepping up to the plate and getting the job done. It's some guys with a little experience, some guys with no experience at all, but and it's the older guys, the seniors and the juniors leading this group, to another conference championship. I mean, it comes with hard work and dedication and commitment, and this summer is a big test of that. And I think right now we have 70 to 80 guys here this summer, doing the things that they need to do to win a conference championship again, and hopefully get into the playoffs, win that first round, and then win the next round, and hopefully get all the way to that national championship game in Kansas City. But I think with this group of guys, it can be done. They believe, they have faith in the coaches, they have faith in one another, and again, they're not selfish. They play for one another, and they're going to do everything they can to make this team better. And when you get a group of guys like that, good things usually happen.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
When we return, a couple of the FHSU players will talk the offensive side of the ball. Stay tuned.
It's time to get a great deal on home internet, and it's 20 for 30 time at NextTech. With NextTech's fiber-powered internet, you can stream, surf, shop, study, and more with reliability you won't find anywhere else. You can play games without lagging, watch your favorite movies in HD, or maybe you'd like to catch up with family on video chat. It's your internet, so use it how you want to. With NextTech, the possibilities are unlimited. Get 20 meg internet for just $30, only at NextTech.
Welcome to the FHSU Preview Football Show for 2018. Joining me now is wide receiver Lane Bieberly and tight end Matt Wendelberger. Lane, you're the top turning receiver for the team this year. How important is your role for the receiving group?
I think it just starts with leadership on the team, and as an individual with the wide receiver unit, just
making sure everybody from the wide receivers just doing their job, showing up for weights every morning and showing up for 7-on-7 and individual drills. Just making sure everybody's doing their part and just holding them accountable for the season.
You broke out of the gates early last season against Central Missouri with a 71-yard touchdown. How important is it to start the season?
I think it just starts with preparation. I think we've had a good summer, having 70 kids averaging out, which I think is the most we've had here at Fort Hays for weights. And just being prepared once fall camp starts around, doing things right, and coming to work every day for the coaches.
You're also tasked with some punt return duties. How is it tough at times wearing more than one hat?
No, not really. I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie, so I kind of enjoy that kind of stuff. But just being back there, whatever the coaches want me to do, I'll do it for them.
You spent your first season here as a redshirt and learning the program. How did that time improve your skill set?
It was big. It was big being a redshirt. Glad it happened. I think I put on about 15 pounds just being here for that summer. It helped a bunch, just getting to know the plays and getting to know the system, getting to know the coaches, and it was big time. Enjoyed it.
You come from a small school, Central Plains, who played eight-man football. How was the transition from 8-man to 11-man, especially at the D2 level?
Not as bad as you would think. Just like I said, preparation for it was pretty big. But I got in here in the summer of that year and started learning the plays, I think, pretty quickly, and it helped getting into that the season coming fall. So it helped big time.
And Matt, you also had a long touchdown catch last season. Describe that feeling during the run after the catch and what it was like to reach the end zone for running nearly 70 yards.
Well, during the game we were down, so I mean, when I was running towards the end zone, the crowd kind of went crazy, and that kind of fueled. I mean, I've never ran so fast in my life, so I mean, it fueled me to get to the end zone, and then it was right before half, so it was good energy.
And as a tight end, you're kind of the safety valve for the quarterback. You finished with 2 touchdowns last season. How excited are you to improve that for the 2018 season?
It started right after Ferris State. I mean, no days off in the off season. Being a leader towards the young guys, and doing what I've been preaching all off season. Being a hard worker.
You would average a first down per catch last season. How important are those catches that keep the drives alive and move the chains?
Well, like you said, it keeps the drive alive, and it leads to touchdown, it leads to scores. It's not really a touchdown, what people are looking for, but, it keeps the offense on the field, it keeps the ball in our hands, and, it leads to scores.
You started all but one game last season. Talk about your role as a leader of being one of 6 returning offensive players.
I think it's key because obviously me and Lane have been there before. We've played for 2 years now. And, I think kids look up to that. Some of the younger kids look up to that, and they go, man, he's been there. So, I mean, it's just really important. So.
And you both have some experience. You both saw some playing time as sophomores last year. Discuss the experience you got from last year and how that will help you improve as a player for this year.
It's just about maturity, growing as a person, growing mentally and physically is a really important aspect of the game because, I mean, you kind of get the jitters. They calm down as the playing career goes on, and you just act like you've been there before.
Right. Thanks, Lane and Matt. When we return from the break, we will be back with Coach Brown, and he will discuss the offensive side of the ball. Stay tuned. If you are looking for a new spot for date night, a place to host your holiday party, or want to explore a unique atmosphere, experience the Paisley Pear in downtown Hays. From rich red to sweet Moscato, the wine bar offers a wide selection. The Paisley Pear Wine Bar, downtown Hays. Welcome back to the 2018 FHSU Football Preview Show. Joining me again is head coach Chris Brown, and he's here to break down the offense. Let's start with the offensive line. Obviously, you have some solid returners, Pat Kelly, Romello Burke, and Nathan Hill. How much are you looking for their leadership this season as filling other people's roles?
It's going to be huge for us, because we're going to miss, Travis Talley and Donald Blackman, those guys that they played a lot of games for us, on the line. So Pat, Romello, and Nathan, they got to take hold of that group and teach that group and make sure they're on the same page and make sure they get the extra prep, to be ready to take on a defensive line and linebackers and things like that. But the offensive line, it's one of the hardest positions to play, on the field, and it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and those guys never get any glory, either for all the work they put in. But they got to read on the split second. You need to know when linebackers are blitzing or the D-line slanting or what might be happening, and they have to be prepared for every little thing. So it's going to take some work, but with those three guys, leading the way and adding a few more, to that group of guys, I think they're going to be pretty dang good up front.
And Pat Kelly's season was actually cut short last year due to a leg injury. Have you seen him determined to get into rehab and get back at it for this season?
He has. He's done everything we've asked him to do. He's actually, he tries to do too much sometimes, but that's just kind of the way Pat is. He wants to get back on the football field. I know we're going through spring ball, and we had him in a red jersey, and red jerseys aren't supposed to be touched. And we were in a scrimmage situation, and it was just kind of supposed to be half speed between him and a defensive end, and they were getting after it. I mean, they were going full speed, and I kind of lost my cool a little bit. But that was Pat's fault. Pat said, "That's on me. I'm just trying to make myself better." But he's ready. He's been working very hard this summer to get it ready, and he's been with Nate Hepner all summer long, making sure that he gets that thing 100% by fall camp.
Who are you looking forward to seeing step up into the mix and fill some gaps that you have for this year?
We got Amari Ingram Bolden, who moved from the defensive side to the offensive side. They need to step up and do a good job. We got Jeff Lodge, playing another tackle position as well, and we have some guys that we're bringing in, that we need to see if they can step up and get the job, done for us. We got 2 junior college kids that, need to come in and compete, for a starting job, and hopefully they can get that job done. But it's all a matter of time. It's how fast can they pick it up, how fast can they learn it, how confident are they, and if they do those things, I think this group can be a very, very solid group.
Obviously, a huge loss will be Kenneth Iheme, who graduated, running back. He was a Harlem Hill nominee last year. Charles Tigner saw a good time last year and was also solid for you guys. How much is he going to have to take that load that Iheme had last season?
Yeah, I talked to Charles a number of times. This is kind of time for him to grow up and be the big guy, on the offensive side in the backfield. It's his turn. He's done his time. He's paid his dues, and he needs to be the guy now. He needs to be that every down back that we need, and hopefully he can do that. We got Isaiah Truss coming back as well, and we still got some younger guys too. But Tigner needs to be that leader of that group. It's his turn. He was last year. The year before that, it was Shaq. And these guys need to step. He needs to step forward and be the man and get the job done.
And speaking on the running back position, who are some players that you look to step up?
Isaiah Truss is one of them. Blackman needs to step in as well. We still got a few others, Jacoby Smith. I mean, there's tons of them. We got a couple. We do have a transfer kid coming in as well. That it might take him a little time just to learn the system and what we do. And Torrey Hicks did a great job for us this spring as well. He's not a huge back, but he's got great vision and good speed and good quickness. Those guys need to step in right now and get the job done. It's time. We are going to miss Iheme. Iheme was a very, very good back and carried a ton, of the load last year. And so these guys got to come and fill in and get the job done for us.
You lost some quality receivers from last year, but you also have some returning guys that can get the job done as well. How do you see Lane Bieberly, Harley Hazlitt, and Matt Wendelberger leading the way this year for your receivers?
That's huge for us. Lane's been here, for 3 years now, and Matt's the same way. Harley just got here last year, and we're expecting those guys to do big things for us. They need to be the leaders on the field, and expect perfection and making sure that guys are doing things the right way and understanding their routes and alignments and understanding coverages and be on the same page as the quarterback. Because things do change, as the play develops and understanding those checks. These guys got they got to step in there and make things happen this year. We want to be better than we were last year offensively, and I think with those 3 guys especially, we can be that. If they step up to the plate, but. Those guys work hard enough. I mean, they're smart kids. They know the game very well. That they played in our system. In a number of games, and they know what they're supposed to do. They just need to step in there, have confidence, believe in themselves, and get the job done and score touchdowns.
Who do you see jumping into the role that Tyler Bacon had last year?
Yeah, there's no guys. Andrew J could be that guy. Manny Ramsey, Hayden Friend. I mean, there's a number of guys that could step in that spot and do it. They just need to step in and get the job done. But I think the main course of it's going to be Matt and and Lane and Harley. Those are going to be the guys. I don't know if we have the Bacon anymore, but we do need to have one of those guys step up because we are going to need some rest for those other guys on the field as well. But one of those three guys, I think, get the job done, and hopefully they do. But they're still young. They're still trying to learn what we're doing, offensively. But I think they can get it done.
Who are you excited to pick up in the receiving position this year while recruiting?
Oh, they're all pretty good. We got a couple kids from Florida that I think are very talented. I don't know if they'll quite be ready this year. And we do have a junior college kid coming as well, and Dandre Reed, who had 850 yards of reception yards last year, and I think he's got good speed. Just again, picking up what we do offensively is going to be a challenge for him, but I think he can get it done in the long run. But I think I'm excited about a lot of those young guys. I mean, I think they can come in and help us out. But there's one kid with really good speed. He's fast and runs well, and we'll see if he's ready this year. But most freshmen that come in here, we try to redshirt him, and we just want to give them that year to get stronger, get faster, understand what we're doing, offensively or defensively, and really focus on their academics so that they're successful all the way through.
It's amazing what can happen during that redshirt season.
And
really mold players.
It is, just the transition from high school to college is so different. I mean, the size of the guys, the speed of the game is so much faster. The amount of plays that you have, the techniques are different. I mean, there's so much that's different about the game of college football than high school. And we want them to learn our techniques, our fundamentals. We want them to learn our plays and understand the concepts of what we're trying to do. And a lot goes into it, week in and week out, and sometimes things change during the week, and it's week to week things change, and just picking all that up. But it's just getting them all on the same page, getting them comfortable, with playing college football, getting them comfortable with me as the head coach and their position coaches as well, and that takes time, building that trust and knowing that I got their best interests at heart, and we want them to be successful all the way through their college career. We don't want them here for 2 years because they flunked out of school or aren't going to get on the field. We want them here for 4 or 5 years, get their degree, and hopefully very successful, becoming all-conference players and hopefully all-Americans.
Jacob Mazzara will return for his senior year after having such a phenomenal junior campaign. How nice is it to have such a nice leader on your team? Yeah,
it's great. Have a quarterback come back for us to be a 3-year starter for you. That's huge. He understands the system. He knows the guys on the team. Especially the receiving core. He knows the blocking schemes. He knows the checks for pass protections. He knows our offense very well. He is basically a coach on the football field, and it's huge to have a guy like that that's been in the system long enough that now he's just playing football and not thinking. And I think this year will be probably his best year, by far, just because he knows exactly what's happening and he's not thinking anymore.
And he put up huge numbers last season, and he could very well be a Heartland nominee. What are you looking forward to most out of him this season?
Just his leadership. Continue to be a leader on the field. His arm strength. His course is very strong. Hopefully, he can get a little bit of touch on some of the touch passes as well. Just for him to really take control of that offense, and if we are in a bad situation or we do have a bad call, maybe he's able to get us out of that, out of that call as well. But just him taking ownership and taking control of the offense and managing the offense and going to score touchdowns, every drive. We know it's probably not going to happen every drive, but the goal is to keep getting first downs and getting us, in good field position if we do have to punt. But, I expect him to be the leader of this group. He needs to take charge and make things happen and make sure that this is his most successful year that he's been here. And in the kicking game, replacing Brandon Brown won't be easy. Who do you see vying for that spot this year? Probably Dante Brown right now. He's a kid that did the punting jobs last year. He does kick the ball very well. He's a good field goal kicker as well, good on kickoffs, and hopefully we can just get him to do punts, and field goals, and hopefully get a freshman to come in that can do the kickoffs for us. But Dante's, he's got a lot of experience, and he's done a great job for us. So hopefully he continues to do that. Thanks, Coach. After this break, Coach Brown will still be here, and we will be discussing the defensive side of the ball. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Tiffany with 8th Street. Come check out our everyday lows. We also offer bulk discounts for individuals, events, and businesses. We are voted the #1 liquor store in Hayes. Come swing by 8th Street every Wednesday to check out our wine tastings. We offer 15% off wines and 10% off whiskeys. Follow us on our social media page on Facebook, 8th Street Liquor, also on Twitter and Instagram.
I think there's a perception out there that web and mobile application development is this field where you sit behind a computer all day and code. And that's not it at all, right? And there's even a perception out there that geek is bad. But I think students should embrace their inner geek. We don't code all day. We look at issues, we look at problems, and try to figure out the pieces of the puzzle and how to put them together to build things.
I was able to learn JavaScript, HTML, CSS, PHP, just kind of the whole 9 yards with that. So I really enjoyed the full program that they offered here.
Anything that you're interested in, the field of web and mobile application development, there's a value to. There's nothing like what we have in the informatics department. If you choose to take everything in the buffet that we offer, you'll be very well prepared for any type of job opportunity that's out there.
Welcome back to the 2018 FHSU Preview Football Show. I'm here with Coach Brown, and now we will be discussing defense. Wyatt Parker was the second-team all-conference pick last year. He's now a senior. How much are you counting on him to step up this season?
You know, he's our guy on the defensive line. You know, he really needs to take control of that D line. You know, being a senior, you know, being I think a 3-year starter at least, and he's played a lot of football here at Fort Hays State University, and you know, it's kind of his turn to take over the reins. You know, last year we had Nathan Shepard, you know, as the guy on that D line that kind of corralled him and kept everybody in line and brought that physicalness, you know, to the game. And then that needs to be Wyatt now. You know, Wyatt needs to take those jobs over and make sure he holds, you know, that defensive line accountable, making sure they're at meetings, you know, at weights, you know, going to class, and then when they get on the football field, that they are practicing at a high level, and then when they play on game day, they're playing at even a higher level. So, you know, Wyatt's huge at this defense right now. I mean, he's a big part of, you know, our success this year, and he needs to make sure that he understands that and, you know, takes charge and gets those guys ready and plays at a high level.
Sheldon Schmidt from lacrosse should also see some expanded playing time this season. How have you seen him grow as a player during his time at FHSU?
It's just his size. You know, he's always been pretty tall, but you know, he's put on some weight now. His strength has really gone up. His techniques have gotten better, you know, each year, and you know, he's another guy that we're expecting to start for us, you know, on the defensive line. He's gotten smarter and understand what we're doing defensively. His techniques have gotten better, and you know, we expect him to do great things for us as well. You know, him being able to stop the run and the pass at the same time. And you know, I got a lot of faith in Sheldon. I think this is a kid that, when he puts his mind to it and really turns it on, you know, he's going to be hard to stop.
Who are some guys new to the team that you will expect to see some quality playing time?
We got a transfer by the name of Keon Clark. You know, big kid. His brother plays in the NFL. Got to get his weight down a little bit, but he's a big kid that, you know, it's going to take 2 guys to block him just because he's so big and physical. Kyle Seamus is another one. You know, he's spared reps here and there. I mean, I expect him to step in and play a lot for us. Javar Sanders, you know, is another kid that, you know, hasn't got a lot of playing time, but, you know, I think has the potential, you know, to be a very, very good football player, you know, on that D-line too. So, I mean, it's a good group of guys. You know, there's quite a few there that, you know, they need to come in and show their ability and show what they can do and just play with some confidence. I mean, they don't have a lot of experience right now, some of these guys, but they believe in themselves and then believe in what Coach Ike is teaching them and use those techniques and fundamentals. They're going to be good football players. And at linebacker, senior Jose Delgado is back. He was your top tackler last season and a returning All-American. He might not be the biggest in his position, but he plays with determination and heart like no other. How instrumental was he last season? He was huge. I mean, he was always around the ball. You know, Jose is a young man that studies the game. you know, day in and day out. You know, he watches a lot of film and goes through his scouting reports. So, you know, when he steps on the field, you know, he knows what an offense is going to do to him. Very good at getting off blocks, dipping underneath blocks. He's got very, very good speed. Can run sideline to sideline, which we look for in our linebackers. Great in pass coverage as well. And you know, he's just one of those kids that's got a knack for the ball. You know, his play is, you know, he's going to up his play even more this year. You know, he had a little bit of injury last year, but he'll be 100% healthy this year. And you know, I think he's going to have a breakout year this year. You know, I can see him being a first-team All-Conference guy and being an All-American. You know, he has that potential, but you know, he's got to be the leader of that group right now. You know, he's got to lead the D-line, he's got to lead the linebackers, and you know, and do all the things that we need him to do to make sure that this team is successful. But you know, I got all the faith in Jose. He's been here for quite a while, and he knows our defense very, very well. And you know, he's going to make some more plays this year.
Colt Rochelle would return as a junior this year, and he's one of those players that when he steps on the field, he just really makes the most out of every opportunity, doesn't he? Yeah,
he does. You know, Colt's been here, I mean, a couple years now. He's redshirted, and he's a redshirt freshman, and now he's going to his sophomore year. And you know, he's a kid that has really matured and grown, you know, since he's been here. You know, he wasn't as big as he is now when he first got here, but he's really put on some strength, put on some weight. It's really starting to understand what we do, you know, defensively. Understand his pass drops better, you know, getting his reads a lot better. His technique's gotten 10 times better, and you know, him and Jose side by side. Yeah, that's going to be tough, you know, for those offensive linemen and anybody trying to block those guys, because those two right there are going to make a lot of plays this year.
Who else do you see jumping into the mix as a linebacker for this upcoming season?
You know, Tevin Evans will be one for sure. You know, he's had a lot of ups and downs since he's been here. He needs to really focus on understanding what we're doing defensively and understanding his role. You know, on the defensive side, I think Lake Harmon's going to be another one that can step in and do a great job for us. He reminds me a lot of Alex Schmidberger, who played here about 3 years ago, was an all-conference guy too. But you know, I think those guys are probably the core of it, and Cooper Griffith, you know, as well from Scott City. I think he's a kid that, you know, has been behind Jose and been behind some very, very good linebackers. And you know, I think just by him watching those guys and seeing how they play the game, it's only made him better.
And in the secondary, you have such a core group coming back. How nice is it to have such much contribution with your secondary?
It's huge. You know, they've played so many games, you know, together, so they're all on the same page. They feel comfortable. You know, you got Connor Shadid, Don Jabowu, Tanner Hookman. I mean, Knowles is back this year as well, you know, at the corner position. But, you know, they played a lot together. You know, you got Hayden Kreitzer, too, that fits into that role. But, you know, those guys have played a lot of football together. And, you know, when you're in the secondary, you got to all be on the same page. And, you know, sometimes you don't have a chance to change the read side, but just by knowing each other well enough, you know when something's going to happen. You know, I mean, those guys can do it. You know, they've done 7-7, you know, all summer long, and got to know each other a little bit better. But just the experience in that back end is going to be tremendous for us.
You mentioned Doyen Jabowu. He's the type of player that can come up and break a pass or help stop a run. What are you looking forward to most out of him this upcoming season?
Just to see how he's changed in a year's time. You know, he's a young man that we're looking to hopefully get a shot at the next level, you know, next year. I mean, because he's got the size. He ran a great 40 time at the Junior Pro Day, you know, which turned some eyes as well. But just, you know, how he's matured, you know, through this year. I mean, does he know the defense as well as he needs to know it? I mean, he shouldn't even be thinking right now and just playing. And hopefully he's to that point right now. But you know, he has a long wingspan. He does break up a lot of balls. He does get some interceptions, and he does very well, you know, in tackling as well. And it's just, you know, I like to see him step up in the physical side of the game just a little bit more. I think he can play a little bit more physical, and that's something I want to see this year.
Quill Knowles, Connor Shadid, Tanner Hookman, they're all returning this year. Do you believe you have the strongest secondary in the MIAA?
I think so, you know, especially just with experience. You know, those guys all got very good speed. They're all physical football players. Not afraid of anything, you know, and that's what we look for. You know, we recruit defensive guys. We want guys that want to put a hat on the ball and that want to play physical, and guys that are smart kids. And you know, I think these young men have all those, you know, attributes. And you know, I'm excited about that group and to see where they move forward, you know, here this season. But I think it'll be one of the strongest ones in this conference.
Thanks, Coach. After this short break, we will be sitting with two seniors who will discuss their defensive roles on the field. Stay tuned.
Fort Hays has an extensive program in computer networking and telecommunications. You'll have lots of hands-on experience in multiple classes. You'll develop real skills. You get out into the workforce, you'll be able to hit the job running from day one. We have competitions. We've got esports and a computer club and a cybersecurity club. There's all kinds of other things that go along with the traditional student model.
I think the informatics networking program has been really cool because it kind of showed me a lot of different parts of computers, not just networking specifically. And I had heard for years that the informatics program here was really huge and everyone was really cool.
Health informatics, a specialized branch of computer networking, is a good option for someone who knows they want to get into the IT world, but they want to be in a very professional environment and make a difference. And the healthcare industry has a huge demand for IT professionals. So we're very inclusive. Classes are pretty small. We're not expensive as far as universities go. It's an awesome value. You know you're getting an elite program. You can't find this program anywhere else in the U.S. It's a great place to be and it's a good environment.
Welcome back to the 2018 FHSU Football Preview Show. I'm now joined by seniors Jose Delgado and Connor Shadid. Welcome to the preview show, guys. Jose, you're one of 5 returning starters for this year. How important is that role for the seniors to step up this year?
It's an important role because we got to lead by example, show the guys coming in and the younger guys just how things go, show them the ropes, all like our Tiger traditions and everything like that. So I think leading them, showing them what to do is a very important role.
You led the team last year with 107 total tackles in just 11 games, and you have been one of the team's top tacklers in the last 2 seasons. Where does that drive come from?
Like you heard earlier, just being the shorter guy, trying to make a name for myself so people understand. That just drives me a lot, so I think that's a big factor in that.
And defensively, you guys return your top tacklers from last season. Is there added importance for the defensive unit to be hitting all the cylinders early in the season?
Oh, definitely there is. We've been here all summer together, so I think that plays a huge part in that. So we do 7-on, just work on those things, tune them up, so that's a big part. And then it'll show at the beginning of the season when we're all just working together, doing it right.
You were one of the top defensive players in the MIAA last season. Coming out of Derby, did you think you would make such a big name for yourself?
I didn't expect it, but I knew if I worked hard and did all the little things right like I did in Derby under Brandon Clark, because he was all about that, doing things right, the little things. So I think that played a big part in where my success came from.
What's your mindset heading into the season while you guys try to defend the conference crown?
I think we definitely can't get a big head. We know we're going to have a chip on our shoulder, so we have to come fight every week, no matter who it is. So I think that's a big part in that.
Connor, you were 3rd in team tackles last season, and you were one of the top players returning. Does that give you loftier expectations for this coming season?
It does, but it doesn't. A lot of these guys, individual accomplishments are one thing, but team accomplishments is what we aim for. It makes it a lot easier when I'm surrounded by guys like Jose and Doyen and Colt and Wyatt and guys like that. Makes my job easier. So.
And defensively, you guys dominated some teams last year. What will it take to accomplish the same feat for this year?
Our preparation. Our coaches do a good job of getting us prepared. Coach Harris instills that in us. He wants us to punish teams, not just be complacent with holding them to no points. So that starts up front with the D-line. So we feed off them, and that's where it comes from.
You guys made a name for yourselves on a national level last season. How is it to be a part of such a historic run in FHSU history?
It was awesome. Nothing compares to it. You can't ask for a better season. This year, obviously, we're trying to win a couple more games towards the end of the season, but with the guys you're playing with and stuff like that, can't compare to it.
And after redshirting your first year here, how have you seen the program grow?
It's grown, leaps and bounds each year. I think my freshman year we were 6-5, so 1 above 500. We've won 1 game each year, 1 more win since then. So to be a part of, the Tigers back when we were kind of struggling and stuff like that, and see how we've come up over the years, it's been a good ride.
Do you feel any added pressure being ranked number 4 in several polls nationally?
I don't think so. Last year we were 6th in the MIAA. No one really thought anything of it. This year we're 4th in the nation. Still no one really thinks anything of it. You know we got to show up and work each day, and that's what we're doing this summer. You send anyone out there 6 a.m. in the morning, 7 p.m. at night. We're running, we're lifting, we're doing all that. So everyone's still showing up to work, and that's what it's going to take.
That's great. Well, thanks for joining me, Jose and Connor.
Thank you.
And when we return, Coach Brown will be back, and he will discuss his expectations for the 2018 season.
The Tiger Media Network is Fort Hays State University's independent student media organization. It's a student employment opportunity where you can work for either the news side or the sports side. So you can be on live sports production, which produces all of the live sports broadcasts that we do, or you could be on the news side and do news stories covering things on campus, so presidential announcements, Student Government Association. We bring that news to the student community and the Hays community as well.
You don't realize how much Fort Hays State has to offer until you're here.
I mean, it is definitely, this is the land of opportunity here.
I just got back from the MIAA tournament in Kansas City a couple weeks ago where we worked with other production crews including Pitt State and Central Missouri. And it's a great time. I've gone there the last couple years.
For me anyway, I get to do sports, which is what I love. And if live productions is where that's at.
This is the perfect place to do it. We have almost everything that you could possibly imagine.
Tiger Media Network allows you the opportunity to take the skills you've learned and put them forward in a real world, real application setting that allows you to flourish and grow as a professional, and that will only help you and benefit you when you graduate and go into the real world workforce.
Welcome back to the final segment of the 2018 FHSU Football Preview Show. With several polls ranking Fort Hays 4th nationally, expectations for the upcoming season are high. Coach, how will you use this ranking to your team's advantage in the upcoming season?
Really, you don't think about it too much. You just try to keep your guys, moving forward and trying to get better, week in and week out. And you start looking at rankings too much, and you're ranked high, you're ranked low. It doesn't really matter until you step on the football field. We got to take care of ourselves and continue to work hard every single day and work on our fundamentals and techniques and have high expectations every day that we step on the football field. And I think if we can do those things, I think this team can go a long way. But you keep looking at all those rankings. It doesn't really matter preseason. All that matters is where you end up at the end of the season.
When you took over the head coaching job several years ago, did you foresee building FHSU into a national contender like you guys are now?
That was my goal. I knew it was going to take some time. It really came down to getting the right coaching staff, getting the right players, that fit Fort Hays State University. The upgrades to facilities, has helped as well, and recruiting. And really, it's our recruiting efforts, have gotten better each year, and the type of kids that we're getting, have gotten better each year as well. Not only athletic-wise, but character-wise and academically. When you got kids that have high character, that do very well in the classroom and are good football players, good things usually happen. And I knew it was going to be a process. And I knew it was going to take time, but it was going to be a process of getting the right coaching staff and getting those right kids, in our program, to get us where we are today. And I knew it was going to take time, and I knew it was going to be frustrating at times as well. But I think we've got everything in place right now, and hopefully we continue, this run of winning.
That family attitude was key to all your accomplishments last year. How important is that to keep that going for next season?
It's huge. I mean, you're with these guys day in and day out. I mean, you see these guys sometimes more than you see your own family, especially as a coach. These young men are my sons, and I tell them I'm dad as well, because, we got to take care of one another. And, our coaches are the same way. We're really fathers to these young men, and, these young men are brothers. And, we got to take care of one another. And, and be there for one another and support one another. But we also have to push one another and hold each other accountable. And you know, God was a big part of it as well last year. You know, I got a team that, you know, that they're a team of faith, and they believe in God and do things the right way. And you know, we pray before every practice and after every practice. And I mean, it's just, you have all those things, you know, on a team. You know, good things really happen, and that's part of our family. You know, it's just a good group of guys right now. I love them very much, and hopefully we can keep this thing going.
That's great. As a coach, there's always excitement to get the season started and kick off that first game. How excited are you for this upcoming season?
I'm excited to see what these guys have. You know, I knew last year we had a very good group. I knew they could do some really good things, and you know, they proved that last year. You know, I want to see if this group of guys can take it a step further. And you know, I really truly think they can. You know, there's a lot of experience on the football field, but there's also some guys that don't have that experience that the you know teams in the past have had. But you know, I'm ready to get amped up. I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to get on the football field. You know, I can only handle so much summer. You know, I can't. I love being on the field and coaching young men day in and day out, and I love, you know, the game. I mean, I love love Thursday, the 2 Thursday games. I love those games. I love Saturdays, just that competitiveness, you know, day in and day out, and you know, competing to win and competing to, you know, to make each other better, and you know, dominate an opponent. You know, that's what important to me, and I can't wait, you know, until we get started.
Coach Brown, I want to thank you so much for you and your players for joining me today. The Tigers kick off the 2018 season on Thursday, August 30th against the Mules of Central Missouri at 7 p.m. at Lewis Field Stadium. For a complete schedule of the 2018 season, visit FHSUathletics.com. Until next time, Tigers, defend the fort.